Hello, algebra students, and welcome to your lesson 3.5, video 1, covering scatter plots and lines of fits. Right? These two ideas, right, are very much a stats topic. So if you take statistics, we offer AP statistics and regular statistics for juniors and seniors typically. If you decide to take this, I think it's a great opportunity for you to learn something that is applicable to a lot of different fields out there in the real world. But again, today we're going to focus on what if we're comparing two quantitative variables, two variables that have numerical data, right? How do they relate? How are they associated? All right, and they're going to be linear associations. Okay, so example 1a, it says, what is the relationship between the hours after sunrise x and the temperature y shown in the scatter plot? So we're looking for a relationship here based off of this scatter plot. So basically you're saying as x increases, what is happening to the y's? Well, it looks like the y's are also going up. So this is what we call a positive association because both are increasing. So this is a positive association. And a positive association means as x increases, that means it goes off to the right, right? As x increases, your y increases. It goes up. So again, the further after sunrise, the higher the temperature will be, right? Cool. All right, next example, B. It says, what is the relationship between the hours after the sunset x and the temperature shown in the scatter plot? Okay, so now we're after sunset, right? Before was sunrise, now we're sunset. So here, again, looking for the relationship. So as your hours after sunset increases, as you get more into the night, notice your temperature is now going down. So this shows a negative association because they're not going in the same direction. They're not both increasing. One's increasing and one's decreasing. That's a negative association. So that means as x increases or goes to the right, your y decreases or goes down. So again, as your hours after sunset increase, your temperature will decrease. All right, last but not least, number C, what is the relationship between the hours after sunset x and the amount of rain y shown in the scatter plot? Well, if you look here, right, this looks like some random dots. Think about this, right? If rain happens all day long, right? It could happen, it could not happen. It doesn't matter temperature or the time of day. It could rain during the middle of the day, it could rain in the morning, at night. So these two show no association because the dots are scattered. So this is a no association, and rightfully so, because it's not like the time of day what is associated with when it rains. It can rain any time of day. So there is no relationship between x and y. And there you go. So there are the three types of relationships we'll take a look at here. Okay, and let's take a look at one more example before we go to the next video because that was pretty short. All right, example 2. Understand correlation. How can the relationship between the hours after sunrise x and the temperature be modeled? Right? So if you look here, right, this is talking about, okay, we know that there's a positive association. So how can we model it? Well, we're going to use what's called a trend line. A trend line does not go through all the data, but it goes through most of the data. Now notice here that this is a pretty straight line until it levels out. So because of this leveling out, we can't just follow this straight line. We have to kind of bend towards that leveling out. So this is going to be my trend line. I'll use blue. Right around, see how it kind of dips away here? Right around there. right? This is going to be my trend line. So again, a trend line, it doesn't go through all the data, but it goes through some of the data. And again, some points are above that line, some points are below. But either way you slice it, we're going to use a linear function to model this data. As we get further into the year, we might talk about quadratic functions and exponential functions. Those can also model your data. But this is going to be a linear function. So what this means is there's a positive correlation or a positive association, correlation, C-O-R-R-E-L-A-T-I-O-N, correlation between hours after sunrise and temperature. There you go. So again, that's why this is in the linear functions topic, right? The chapter, because it's follows that linear function form. And again, the next video, video 2, is going to talk about how do we find some equations of these trend lines. All right. Okay. So this was the end of video 1. Buckle up for video 2 coming up next.